Fuck it. I'm gonna watch all of these goddamn movies. So I've never seen any one of these movies, I just know that there are 8 of them, and apparently they're all awful. I've got myself some Irish whiskey to hopefully help me get through this terrible idea of a video. So wish me some Irish luck, and let's watch the first Leprechaun movie. Wait, is he drinking Jameson? Well, I'll drink to that.
I want me gold now!
Well, that was a bit disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. I hope the kills get better, I really do.
Tell me, or I'll bite your ear off.
The makeup's actually pretty good, I think, especially for the budget. It's pretty fun. I'm having a much better time than I thought I would.
I know how to tell if it's real. You just bite on it. I seen it in the movie.
How do you accidentally swallow a coin? I can barely swallow a pill without choking to death. I wonder if the rest of the movie's gonna take place in that house, or if they're actually leaving to a new location for like the rest of the Oh. Well, I didn't expect that, but this is pretty hilarious. Looks like he was having the goddamn time of his life. Okay, so I'm guessing this guy's gonna get killed. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint.
Now we're going to play. This old left, he played one. He played pogo on his luck. Teach you to steal me gold.
You know what, that was alright.
I mean, yes, I do want something. What I wanted was a watercress salad and an Evian water. But they don't have that here. All they have is cheap whiskey.
What's with the shitty transitions? Boy, oh boy, this is really silly. This is really corny.
He got my ear!
What the hell is going on at this point?
On a Code 1 priority right away.
Roger, Sheriff. My ETA is less than 3 minutes.
This is nice. I love when the leprechaun changes his voice to imitate somebody else. It's pretty neat.
Okay, just tell me about the gold. Okay, and the
Yeah,
water.
there it is again.
Ah!
Well, that was loud. How many shells does this shotgun have?
Okay.
Come on, the kills suck. This is a slasher film. I wish the kills were better. And he gets shot again. Alright, well, 1 down, 7 to go. You know, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. The first Leprechaun film was directed by Mark Jones back in 1993, a little after the slasher craze went extinct. It obviously shares similarities with A Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play.
Do you need a hand?
Hey, I wonder where I've seen this before. By having a wisecracking villain that's the antagonist as much as he's the leading star. Just like any other slashers, the film's plot is quite simple. It starts with a guy who stole a leprechaun's gold. But he was able to trap the little green guy in a wooden box, thanks to a 4-leaf clover. 10 years later, our final girl Tori moves into the same house and makes a couple of friends, who soon all get attacked by a little leprechaun. What ensues is a cheesy, dumb little B-movie that has its few moments here and there, and that wasn't all that terrible if you know what you're getting into. Some people die, Lep drives a miniature car,
Wait, what?
and ultimately a little kid shoots a 4-leaf clover in Lep's mouth.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Could have been worse, which causes him to melt before falling in a well. Watch out for some aura.
7 days?
Now, right off the bat, I'll say that I somehow enjoyed Warwick Davis's performance, which I thought would get old after a minute and a half. He had fun with it, and I had fun watching him. His design and the makeup effects are also top-notch. Lep has a very distinguishable look. Davis really saved this film and this whole franchise, as his charisma and charm made this messy bad film turn into a fun ride of B-movie cheesiness. His motivation is also interesting. He just wants his goddamn gold.
Me golden delicious gold.
If you give it to him, he'll leave you alone. He's not necessarily evil by nature, at least not in the first one, and I kinda like that. The film also makes the smart choice of showing the movie villain as much as possible, and giving him nearly as much screen time as the protagonist of the movie. Good call. This isn't Jaws or Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, where you need to keep the villain hidden and his screen time limited to build up the tension and focus on the characters, themes, and story. You're watching a horror comedy film called Leprechaun. All you want is to see a little green monster act silly and murder people, and that's what I got. Now, speaking of the characters, our protagonist is played by Jennifer Aniston. I'm not sure who she is. This was probably her first and last movie, but anyway, she's not interesting in the slightest.
This is a joke, right? This is our poor neighbor's house, and then you're gonna take us to our house.
Oh, she's gonna be annoying. They do this thing where she starts as a rich, snobby city girl who has everything for her.
There's no swimming pool, there's no shopping malls, there's no cable.
But the thing is, she doesn't really have an arc. And the only reason why she stays to the old house is so she can impress a guy.
Well, I just think it's funny the way girls are always afraid of spiders and stuff, you know?
Don't you just put the bags back? I'm gonna stay.
Nobody cares. Thankfully, we have two of the best characters of this whole franchise, Alex and Ozzy. They're a duo similar to Lenny and George from Of Mice and Men, where Alex is the reasonable, sensible guy, and Ozzy is the dumb-witted, charming idiot who can't do anything right, but he sure is adorable.
We can get you an operation
For what?
to make you smart.
But I'm smart.
Wow, that's actually kind of sad. I like this Ozzy guy, I just want to give him a big hug. Thankfully, these guys brought some levity, charm, and fun to the film, and I admittedly cared about them. I can't believe I'm saying this. The film is not without its flaws though, obviously. It is cheap as hell. I mean, this thing has no budget, and it really shows. Half the kills are like neck snaps or done off screen. The only one that's worth mentioning is the pogo stick because it's a little fun. But then again, it still doesn't look very good. Some of the humor also doesn't work, like this Looney Tunes scene, it's just bad. Overall, the first Leprechaun is by definition a bad movie. That really doesn't have much going for it. But being a fan of cheesy B-movies, I still had a decent time, mostly thanks to Warwick Davis, as well as Alex and Ozzy's characters that put heart in this otherwise empty movie.
I did a smart thing, didn't I?
You're really smart, Ozzy.
Overall, I'm gonna give Leprechaun 3 clovers out of 5. I have no idea what this next one's gonna be like. I'm assuming Jennifer Aniston's not gonna be back for the sequel. The only thing I can hope is to have some better kills than the other one. Other than that, just have some fun Leprechaun stuff happening and I'll be pleased. Let's watch.
Scream as you may, scream as you might. If you try to escape, you'll be dead on this night.
Here's a drinking game for you. Let's take a sip every time the Leprechaun starts rhyming. Double sip if the rhyme is awful and makes no sense. A magic neck snap? Are you kidding me? What the fuck was that? Oh my god.
Morning.
Morning. I love that this actually takes place on St. Patrick's Day. It has some ambiance to it. It puts me in the spirit. Wait a minute, is that Canadian whiskey? How about that? Damn, he's going Evil Dead on this homeless guy. Let's just hope he doesn't rape him though. The only thing I'm confused about is that he's supposed to be dead in a well. Are they ignoring the whole events of the first film completely?
Oh. Finger licking good.
Damn it, they didn't show it. What a bummer.
She sneezes once. She sneezes twice.
And here he goes rhyming again, god damn it. Oh, this is great. A drinking contest between a leprechaun and a drunk uncle is the best idea of this whole movie.
I prefer cash, but maybe you're a little short. Boom, gotcha.
What the hell? Hopefully this guy gets a good death. Okay, you know what? This was pretty good. This was definitely good. Oh no, the old drunk is dying.
Get it out of me!
You see, you shouldn't be so greedy.
Oh, I feel bad for him. I feel like I'm gonna look like this when I grow old, so maybe that's why. This music doesn't fit the tone at all. Whoa, was that a boom mic? What was that?
He's dead?
He's dead?
It's over?
It's over?
In your dreams!
He's gonna blow!
Why is he gonna blow? Like, what do you mean? Alright, well, I guess he blew up. You know, I don't want to open my wrists yet, so that's a good sign. Leprechaun 2 came out barely a year after the first one, with a very rushed production, insufficient budget of course, and very difficult shooting conditions.
Compared to the first one, the second film felt more low budget. It felt like we had to kind of make things work and make do with what we had a little bit more.
So it surely wasn't gonna be a masterpiece, but I actually think it's one of the best in the series. One thing to note right off the bat is that this is a reboot. It has nothing to do with the first film, despite being called Leprechaun 2. This time around, the director pushed the movie more towards a fantasy style, with the Lep having been around for more than 1,000 years, waiting to marry a girl so he can impregnate her with little leprechaun children.
You'll be bearing me wee ones soon.
Very weird. He also hides in a little cheap set, I mean an underground cave of course. Our protagonist for this one is Cody. He's an average Joe who has a girlfriend who screams weird, and an alcoholic legal guardian named Morty, since his parents passed away. They're not great by any means, and the romance is god-awful, just like the romance in all these films, but I will admit that the characters had their charm, especially Morty. He's a drunken loser who scams people by making them pay a bunch of money for a pathetic spooky tour ride across the city. He's definitely an asshole, but a lovable one that I really liked, and Sandy Barron, who played the part, did a great job.
31 minutes, it's free. Nothing tastes as good as a free pizza.
So basically, the leprechaun kidnaps Bridget, Cody's girlfriend, so that he can marry her and, you know, rape her. So Cody teams up with Morty and they go on a wacky adventure to rescue her. This time, 4-leaf clovers don't do crap though, and the leprechaun is instead defeated by an iron stake, which apparently causes him to blow up. That's kind of fun. In many ways, Leprechaun 2 is as better as it is worse than its predecessor. Shocking news here, Warwick Davis is the highlight, and I even prefer his performance in this one. He just seems to have found the perfect way to play this character and really completely make it his own. On one hand, I think he's thrown into more fun situations, and he's overall more entertaining. But on the other hand, his main goal being to capture a girl and essentially rape her kind of grosses me out a little bit. I prefer Lep just wanting his goal and being content with that. Another thing I liked is the humor. This film can at times be pretty damn funny.
Boom, gotcha.
Of course, not all the jokes land, but focusing more on humor made the dull scenes a bit more interesting.
We've got 60 hours of combat training.
Should have had 65.
Unlike the first film that has long stretches where nothing's happening. Where things fall apart though is in the last act, that solely takes place inside this bad set. It becomes very stale after a while and I started losing interest. Other than that, I had a ton of fun. The homeless guy scene, Lep getting drunk, and him driving a Lep machine were all particularly fun sequences. Morty was a highlight and he brought charisma and levity to the film, and although some of the kills were very disappointing, a couple of them upped the game and were great. Rest in peace, Morty. Plus, the film's even got some fun so bad it's good moments. Let me see that scream again.
He's dead?
He's dead? Despite it being a very bad film in all the different ways possible, this was a very good time, and I give Leprechaun 2 3 clovers out of 5. Time for Leprechaun 3. I don't know what this is. Let's watch it. Okay, so yet again they're completely ignoring the last film, where the leprechaun literally exploded in bits and pieces. And now I guess he's a rock or something. Jesus Christ, Lep is vile in this film. The effects are really good. And yet again, he dropped a single coin and he's gonna be looking for it later on. Lep should be a little bit more careful with his gold. It's the third time, for Christ's sake.
I'm 1 shilling short!
Yeah, again, it's a little repetitive. I like the change of setting. A Leprechaun film in Vegas is a really fun idea. I'll be honest, the humor really works in this film. Is that really how he dies? You're losing points, Leprechaun 3.
Oh shit!
Did he just teleport leprechaun crap into his hand?
It is exactly
What? What the hell? Is he gonna turn into a little gremlin? It's just like in The Gate 2.
There once was a lady of Tottenham.
Oh god, he's rhyming. He's really turning into a little leprechaun.
Oh shit.
What the fuck? Oh my god, there's a robot with giant breasts hanging out. What in the world is going on?
Will I electrocute you?
This was something, alright. Is that really how they die? A little person beating them up with a cane?
Your boobs are big. Your butt is small. But still you're in for quite a fall.
Jesus Christ. Holy God. This was absolutely amazing.
Sir?
Leprechaun 3 is redeeming itself.
Fazio's illusions are very, very real.
Fazio is the best. He's so damn funny. Ooh, gosh darn it. Oh, I'm loving this. Fazio the magician gets cut in half. Oh, nice. Oh, Leppy Boy is getting Freddy Kruegered. Well, that was Leprechaun 3. Not too bad. Leprechaun 3 was a blast. Now, was it perfect? No. Did it have a great story? No. Did it have great characters? No, not particularly. Was it perfectly paced? No. Was the humor always funny? No. Did it have a big budget? No. Were the effects always good? No. Did it have a sex robot with giant boobs hanging out, electrocuting a guy while the leprechaun is rhyming next to them? Yeah. Yes, actually. What? Yeah. Okay. Again, Lep 3 may not be a very good film, but it's a damn fun one. In fact, it's probably the most fun in the franchise, in terms of humor and tone. The producers knew that what worked about the previous entries was the fun and the camp, so they went all in with the comedy and pitched a Leprechaun movie in Vegas. In this one, Lep is a statue with a magic necklace that a stereotypical Indian guy gets in his pawn shop.
$20.
Thank you, come again.
But of course, when the necklace comes off, Lep goes on another killing spree. Our two main characters here are Tammy and Scott, Tammy being an assistant magician in a casino in Vegas, and Scott being Scott. They're not the most interesting, and the romance is yet again the worst part of the film, but I will admit that it was better than the previous two films. The characters have their charm and motivations, so while Lep is killing a bunch of people, Scott eventually turns into a little leprechaun himself, which is a fun idea, and at the end they just burn Lep's gold, and I guess that kills him. That's the plot. Now I have to mention first the incredibly funny characters we have in this. There's the Indian guy saying a bunch of nonsense.
You steaming pile of cannibal.
What? There's these two guys.
The boxes keep crawling up my butt.
There's the pervert casino owner.
You want my heat-seeking moisture missile, don't you?
And of course, the highlight, Fazio the magician.
Fazio?
Of course, the casino won't allow me to use a real bunny.
Hilarious. For the most part, the comedy totally worked, and it made scenes entertaining even if the leprechaun wasn't around, which is something I can't say for all these films. Another thing that was great with this entry, the kills. This one for sure has the craziest, wildest death sequences of this franchise. They're absolutely great, memorable, bloody, and booby. It's the one thing that kept letting me down with the two previous films. The only thing I wasn't too fond of is the romance, but out of all the romance subplots of this franchise, this one is definitely my favorite. Because the two characters are actually slightly likable and have somewhat of a chemistry. There surprisingly are some themes too, albeit not all too original or anything, but the film does touch on the consequences of greediness and of course being careful what you wish for. Similar to the later Nightmare on Elm Street movies, the victims all have their certain personality traits that ends up costing them their lives. It's very well done. As always, Davis gives it his all. This is probably one of his best performances as the Leprechaun, and he really dialed up the comedy to another level. This is also helped by the fish out of water aspect of the film, where the Leprechaun is discovering Vegas and having fun with it. Overall, this is one of the best entries, and I'd go as far as to say that it wasn't bad. Again, Lep 3 may not be a very good film. Sure, it has a bunch of problems, it's a bit repetitive, with the Leprechaun yet again misplacing a single coin and being mad about it. It's no masterpiece, that's for sure, but I'll give Leprechaun 3 3.5 clovers out of 5. Okay, Leprechaun 4 in space. One small step for man, one giant leap of terror. You know, I kind of doubt that. God, this looks sad.
We got a female of the species. Says she's assigned to our search and destroy mission.
Correct. Dr. Reeves is the ship's biological officer and
What the hell is going on? This is like an Austin Powers kit. Ouch, this expectedly looks absolutely atrocious. Oh boy, the Leprechaun exploded yet again, just like in part 2. It was good.
Oh, shit!
Yes. Oh yes, he's coming out of his ball sack. Yes. This is really fun.
Well, are you alright?
It's Mooch.
Okay, very silly, but pretty fun. So far the kills aren't terrible, I'll give it that.
Now there's a word that lies crooked upon me. The very sound of it sends my teeth to grate and conjures up pictures of...
Who is he talking to?
And what I want is everything.
Why are you saying your thoughts out loud?
You're really good with that rifle.
Maybe I could, teach you how to use it sometime.
The romance aspect is really bad. Painfully uninteresting. Nah, that wasn't great. Oh my god. Holy Jesus. This is horrifying. Stuff nightmares are made from. Oh my god. Damn. I can't believe this film. This is embarrassing. It's so boring. Get back to the Nazi German spider mutant. It's all we want to see.
Damn. He wasn't even human.
Cyborg.
This is so bad. Man, it's so blurry. Look at how pixelated it is.
Ow. I'll get ya.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for this to be over. Damn, how many times did the Leprechaun blow up in this film?
Now you were Murray.
Well, I'm exhausted. This was the worst film yet. Leprechaun 4 in Space is a movie that exists, and yeah, it's not very good. So the idea actually came from a joke at a Christmas party. They had a joke poster that looked like the Apollo 13 poster, except with the Leprechaun in the capsule, and people somehow thought it was a good idea.
I think it was just intended initially as a joke for the Christmas party, but then people thought, you know, maybe that's not such a bad idea.
And then when came the time to convince the company executives, the director pitched a leprechaun coming out of a dick scene, and that convinced them all right. The story of this one ultimately doesn't have anything to do with the leprechaun mythos. Besides from a few mentions of a pot of gold, this is just aliens, except the alien is a leprechaun. That is it. That's the plot. Now I will give them this. The movie's bad, it's one of the worst of this series, but it does have its very few moments that I did enjoy. The giant spider monster was a very welcomed surprise. It looks great, especially considering the budget. There's a couple of decent kills here and there, and there's this character called Styx, who's played by the damn enchiladas guy from Friday the 13th Part 5.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
He was pretty damn funny.
Yeah! Okay, I guess I don't get that.
There's other fun stuff too, like when Lep becomes a giant. It's a clever idea to have the little guy become big and make short jokes with humans. And lastly, Lep explodes not once, not twice, but 3 goddamn times. But unfortunately, those small highlights of fun don't compensate for the atrocious dialogue.
Just because I'm wearing this uniform does not mean that they have surgically removed my brain.
Well, I didn't mean to.
Anyway.
Drag scenes and love story. As soon as Lep is not on the screen, the film becomes 100% worse. It also doesn't help that Leprechaun 4 in Space has some of the worst special effects I have ever seen in my life.
I don't think that the visual effects are as successful as we had hoped they would be.
Yeah, you think? In the end, if there's one way to sum up my thoughts, it would be exactly this.
I still think there's a lot of amusement in Leprechaun in Space for a bunch of sci-fi fans sitting around with a six-pack and a bomb.
Well said. I give Leprechaun 4 in Space 1.5 clovers out of 5. This next one is called Leprechaun in the Hood. Evil's in the house. So, you know we're in for a good quality film. I don't know what to expect. I'm assuming there's gonna be some rapping, maybe? I don't know.
Beware the evil wanderer.
Wait, is this just the intro of the first movie?
Try as they will.
So they're just literally doing the same thing as Leprechaun 3.
Postmaster P, that's me, you see. The piece for positive, and that's my guarantee.
I got what it take to get this shit fixed? A whole lot of money. See? Be fucked.
At least they're doing something different.
A lot of time has come and passed. But still I see you're a big fat ass.
That's some pretty good rhyming. We just got the exact same scene a second ago. Literally the same scene. This sucks. Wait, he's not even choking him. You can see the thumb. Why do the kills suck so fucking bad in this film? I can't believe how crappy these kills are.
How they are weak. Jesus, give a shout out. Try to stay strong, cause we belong. Just love me. I don't know. Chief, I know. If Jesus loves me.
I know the evil serpent beast when I see him.
What the hell is... What is going on? Here they go again with the trans jokes. Oh, so it's a sad ending. That's surprising. I mean, at least they did something different, I guess.
I come from the land of the Irish.
Oh no.
Dublin's the place where I learned my thing. From the Emerald Isle to your place.
This is so embarrassing. Yeah, that's the end of the movie. Leprechaun in the Hood is not a fake title. Leprechaun in the Hood. Anyways, this was better than the one in Space at least, but ultimately it wasn't very good. This one of course takes place in the Hood, where we meet 3 aspiring rappers. Postmaster P, Stray Bullet, and Butch. So they go steal Ice-T's gold, and they accidentally unleash the leprechaun, and this time he has zombie servant babes. There's also a magic flute with ambiguous powers. I think it can grant wishes, or maybe it just gives people more luck? I could not tell you. The movie's a bit more depressing than I thought though, because in the end, 2 of the 3 main characters are dead, and the other one is possessed. I certainly did not expect that. This guy's dying too! Everybody's dying! Lep in the Hood doesn't have much going for it, but it does have a solid cast. The main characters had great chemistry, and they're at the very least a little bit more memorable than whoever this person is. They go through some inner conflicts, they have a clear motivation, they grow as characters, and they have some of the screenwriting 101 basics, which is something that can be said for all these films. Of course, Warwick Davis is very entertaining as the Leprechaun, as always, and he's got some decent one-liners.
A friend with weed is a friend indeed.
Oh, and Ice-T is great too, I almost forgot.
I hope you had sex last night, because I'm going to come over there and cut off your dick. Then I'm going to feed it to my pit. Then I'm gonna burn the shit when it comes out of my goddamn dog's ass, you hear me? Don't fuck with me, bitch!
That's pretty much it, everything else was bad. The kills are totally lame.
Come here, my big, strong man.
Wait, what's going on? Is he getting stabbed? This sucked. This was the worst thing I've ever seen. And the rap scenes, they're just simply bad. The music sucks and it's mixed very poorly.
Do what you gotta do. Yeah!
Jesus Christ, this was such a bad idea. Some of the humor was awkward and did not work at all.
So, what is it I can do for you, stray bullet?
So the joke is that she's a trans. That is absolutely hilarious. I'm pissing my pants here. And there were many stretches of time where I was just bored. And oh god, the Leprechaun rap at the end. I was embarrassed. Just look at it.
On the man of green, come to do no good. Lep in the Hood, come to do no good. Lep in the Hood.
I guess I can praise the originality though. It's nice seeing a film that features almost entirely black people. I think we should have more of those. And I'm glad they focused on the bond of these three friends instead of focusing on a bad romance or something. It could have been much better, but it could have been worse too. I'll give Leprechaun in the Hood 2.5 clovers out of 5. Okay, the 6th film in this franchise is called Leprechaun Back to the Hood. I don't know, let's just watch it.
Of wicked men. The legend of...
That's surprisingly pretty good animation. Oh, it's like Jason Goes to Hell. The Leprechaun is sent right back to hell. That's pretty cool. What's up with these awful transitions?
I haven't smoked a good pipe in a long time.
Keep going, keep going. Don't be stingy when you shoot up.
Okay, alright, this is amusing.
Hurry up!
Fart jokes. It's like a fight scene between a grown woman and a little leprechaun. It's a bit hard to take this seriously.
That gold didn't even belong to the one you stole it from.
Listen, don't hurt me. I have nothing to do with this.
Jesus, that was unexpected. What's up with these cartoonish jokes? It is terribly unfunny. Wait, that's not the right leg. Leprechaun grabbed his right leg, but then in the next shot it was like his left leg.
Oh, bloody hell.
This is great. The film is ever so slightly redeeming itself. And he's going full-on Cape Fear mode.
Yeah, we cool, man.
The second half of this film is so much better than the first one. And just like that, Lep is no more. I grew to care for him. Well, that's it. I'm still sad for the Leprechaun, admittedly. I'm not even kidding. So, Leprechaun Back to the Hood is a real title of a movie, yet again. Now, the title implies that this is a sequel to the previous film, but of course it actually has nothing to do with it. They're completely unrelated. The story is a bit similar though. A group of friends find a pot of gold and they use it to fulfill their fantasies, but it also summons the leprechaun who starts killing people again. So I'm a bit conflicted with this one. It was very bad, but it had some great moments. Firstly, the leprechaun in this was great. They dropped the magic and the rhyming and all that, and they turned him into an old evil monster. This is actually a nice change of pace. No more wiggling his fingers around and have him be overpowered. Instead, he just has supernatural strength and he fights a whole bunch. I really like that. His new costume also looks great. Overall, this is one of my favorite Warwick Davis performance, and although it's sadly his last Leprechaun film, I think he went out with a bang.
Well, I got red hair and nice smile.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty sharp dresser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis is single-handedly saving this film.
I think I got a good body. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually pretty funny. What else works? Well, some of the humor was great.
Oh, this is wonderful working, baby. Ooh, work it!
I found myself chuckling a whole lot, and I'm dead inside, so bonus points. Stoned Leprechaun is a definite highlight. Some of the kills were pretty good too, although it's unfortunately not the case for all of them.
Boring!
I am unimpressed, but the couple that worked very well. And like I mentioned when watching it, the second half is much better than the first. They pick up the pace and have more entertaining scenes. As for the characters, I will say that the actors did a great job. This guy in particular was very charming and I liked him a lot.
Say you was my friend, man. You supposed to look out for me. Ain't my photo scare, man. Just don't hit me no more.
But besides him, even if the actors are good, the characters just didn't interest me in the slightest.
I didn't want you to give up shit for me.
Yeah, but I gave up everything.
I tried to pay you back, right?
This is boring. These two used to date, but now they don't anymore, but then they end up dating again at the end. I don't care. I just want to see the leprechaun getting high. The scenes that focus on the human characters, especially in the first act of the film, were pretty painful to get through, admittedly. In fact, I legitimately wanted the leprechaun to win. Like, he's absolutely right the whole film. He's got a great speech at the end.
You filthy mortals have tried to steal my riches to satisfy your greedy urges. And it always ends the same, with you begging for your miserable lives. Was it all worth it in the end?
Damn right, humans suck. Anyways, I'll give Leprechaun Back to the Hood 2 clovers out of 5. This next one's called Leprechaun Origins. I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm assuming it's a prequel, but then again, continuity has never been a thing in these films. Hopefully it's not bad.
What's that day done on?
What the fuck does that mean?
Leprechaun.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms!
Well, it's over. What is there to say about Leprechaun Origins? Like, I'm not even mad at the film, I just don't know what they were thinking. The only people that would have the slightest interest in seeing a new Leprechaun film expect to see a little wisecracking leprechaun who kills people and has fun doing so. By making a dark and gritty reboot with a silent creature, you're alienating the fans of the series. I don't think anybody in the world wanted to see a full-on horror reboot of Leprechaun. It's an incredibly strange idea. But anyways, that being said, I don't think the film deserves a 3.2 on IMDb. I mean, it's not good, but as background noise while you're doing the dishes, I've seen worse. The premise is actually kind of interesting. I quite like it. So 4 friends are traveling to Ireland and they meet a guy who offers them to stay in a cabin. But turns out he locks them inside so the leprechaun can eat them. This all happens because the Irish people found gold in a cave and they used it for their greedy, selfish desires. And so the leprechaun feeds on them as revenge or something. You know, I don't mind this premise, it's a neat idea. The problem is the awful execution. The characters aren't interesting at all, the lead actor is bafflingly bad.
To lock it from the outside once it's inside.
It's inside?
The director tried to have the protagonist be selfless and have trouble affirming herself, stuck in a relationship that she seems very unsatisfied with, so that she can grow and learn to trust herself or whatever. They sort of tried to have themes and character progression. It's a nice try, but it's not done well at all. The characters are simply dull, and we have to spend the whole film with them. In the other Lep movies, the characters were also bad, but at least we had some great Warwick Davis performances that made it less painful. Leprechaun Origins is also not very well shot, especially the action scenes. It's very hard to tell what the hell's going on, and they keep cutting to the Leprechaun's POV. Boy, does it look bad. Speaking of the Leprechaun, I don't know why, but I guess they wanted to hide his design or something, because whenever he's on screen, everything gets all blurry. Why'd you do that? I think his design isn't all that bad when you see it properly, but they went ahead and just messed it all up. Also, this barely has anything to do with the Leprechaun mythos. You barely ever see any gold, except a couple of coins at the end maybe. And speaking of the end, it's kinda strange. They set up this magic rock where when you pass it, you're safe from the Leprechaun, and they put a big emphasis on that. But no, at the end she just slices the monster's head off. There's no payoff to that rock at all. And why are there a bunch of leprechauns at the end? I thought the Irish guys were feeding a monster so it wouldn't kill them. They keep referring to it as a singular creature. It doesn't make any sense. Where do you guys come from? Anyways, I will give some positives where I can. The guy from Freddy vs. Jason was really good, and he's probably the most likable character. The Irish bad guy and his son were also very good actors. Other than that, there's some neat gore. The kills were fun and most definitely the best parts of the movie. That decapitation was especially tasty. There's this scene where the characters are tied up to a tree, and it had some good tension, so that's nice. And lastly, I will say that there's a decent atmosphere. It felt like The Evil Dead at times, which is always nice. So yeah, I don't think this is the worst movie of all time. It's just extremely forgettable and bland. The director looks like a nice guy though. It's just unfortunate that his filmmaking career is a bit embarrassing.
The other Leprechaun was such a fan favorite. I think fans are going to come into this not really knowing what to expect.
Yeah, you got that right. I'll give Leprechaun Origins 1 clover out of 5. Or maybe 1.5 for the gore. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Now this one's called Leprechaun Returns. It came out very recently. Let's hope it's not bad. So this is like a direct sequel to the first one? That's kind of cool.
Do you need a ride?
You have got to be kidding me. It's Ozzy! It's the best goddamn character of this whole franchise! I'm so happy, I'm loving this already.
Are you Irish?
No.
Just a fan of the culture?
Not at all.
Ozzy's so great.
Plus, you told me to find people that are handy. That's Matt and Andy. That rhymed weird. Anyway, it's like...
Why am I having such a great time? I know for a fact Ozzy is not dying.
Oh God, no!
God damn it, Ozzy's dying.
It won't take care of you.
This whole scene was great. I am loving these practical effects. And the leprechaun design looks absolutely great.
It's gonna be like totally kick-ass.
You do have a great ass.
This is my new favorite movie of all time. Damn, he looks creepy as hell. This is really well shot. It's baffling seeing practical effects that actually don't suck ass.
We should get out of here. He's probably really close by now.
Damn. Are you kidding me? Holy cow.
If Werner Herzog can do it, so can I.
Werner Herzog would be proud.
This is officially my favorite movie of all time. He looks so cool. Holy moly macaroni. just when you thought things couldn't get better. Oh, you know I love me some good slime. Oh, this is so sweet. Wait, this was made by the guy who did The Void and Psycho Goreman? No wonder it was so great. You know, without kidding, I think this is one of my favorite horror movies. I can't believe how much I enjoyed this. It's the perfect Leprechaun movie. So for the first time in this whole franchise, the movie actually has continuity. They went for a Halloween 2018 type of sequel, where every movie doesn't exist except for the first one. It picks up 25 years later, where our main character Lila, who's Tori's daughter, goes back to the house where her mom lived, which is turning into a sorority house for students. But of course, the Leprechaun comes back to life after a long rest, and he's thirsty for murders and gold. It's the simplest premise really, but it's perfect like that. So first things first, the characters in this one are really likable and charismatic. They all have their distinct personalities without falling into cliches. The main character Lila is especially great, and Tyler Spradler... Anyway, the actress who plays her brings a lot of comedy and charm. She was natural and genuine, and I cared for her. I can't stress enough how incredible it was to watch a Leprechaun film where you actually care about the people. I was amazed. As for the Leprechaun, well, it was a bit strange to see someone else portray the character, since Davis's performance is so iconic, but I will say the new actor, Lyndon Porco, did a really great job. He had good comedic chops, but he also knew when to be creepy. He gave a very energetic performance, and it could have been too over the top, but he managed to pull it off. I don't know if this is a sin, but I have to mention this is my favorite Leprechaun look. I just think he looks incredible. Now I can't wait any longer. I have to talk about la creme de la creme, the holy grail of this film, the kills. Again, I can't tell you how great it was to have death scenes that didn't horribly disappoint. It's a first in this franchise. Not one single kill was bad. They're all incredibly creative, bloody, and fun, and they have some amazing practical effects. And also, Lep explodes twice. I love a good Lep explosion. Delicious. This film was exactly everything I hoped it would be and even more. Kostanski is a really interesting director, and he just makes fun movies that'll make you feel good. It's like a warm blanket on a cold winter night.
Sometimes you just gotta be goofy and have fun, and so that's what I like about the Leprechaun movies.
Amen, brother. I give Leprechaun Returns 5 clovers out of 5. So in the end, I'd say this was a fairly miserable experience, but I did have some fun nonetheless. If you plan on watching some of these films, I'd say watch the first 3 and watch the new one, and you're in for a really good cheesy B-movie fun time. So have you seen any Leprechaun film? What did you think of them? What should I review next? What's the meaning of life? Let me know all of that in the comments below, and until next time, keep watching horror movies, it's good for your health. Bye bye.